Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. In this video, I'll be looking at 3 ICOs I missed the first time round. But if this is your first time here and you want to know about ICOs, then click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon and you'll get notified as soon as I upload new content, including my ICO review videos and also when I go live as well. So thanks for doing that, guys. We appreciate your support here at Cryptonomatron channel. Can't even say it myself. It's very early in the morning here. I'm up early, ready to go with this video. So these are 3 ICOs that I missed the first time round. I did have a brief look at them, but there's so many ICOs, you know, what can you do? I can't cover them all. A lot of you guys requested one of these ICOs that we're going to cover later on, Lending Block, but I didn't have time to review it. And I'm not invested in any of these ICOs, I'll make that clear just now. And this is not a review video. You know the way I do my reviews. They take quite a long time. The videos are quite long. You can always skip to the end using the timestamps. That's what they're there for. But these will just be a quick look at these 3 particular projects, and I'll have a look at the website of the project. We'll go through the rough details, and then I'll give you my positives and negatives on each of the projects from what I've seen, from the brief time I've looked over the white paper and the rest of the material. So these aren't review videos, guys. These are just a quick look. So let's get on with it, and let's start with Docademic. So Docademic is offering telemedicine, basically. They are blockchain for keeping information, medical data on the blockchain to assist with telemedicine. Now, their competitors, I assume, would be MediChain. Medical Chain was another one that was launched in the UK. I did a review video of it some time ago. The link is in the description above. There you go. So, you know, basically, why am I doing a video on this one? Well, John McAfee was shilling it for a while, so I thought, you know, let's take a closer look at it today and see what it's all about. Now, I believe it's based in Mexico. I did have a quick look at it before, and I sort of just sidelined it. I wasn't really that interested in it. It launched at the time when there was a glut of these medical ICOs, this you know, medical data on the blockchain ICOs, and I just really wasn't. I was fatigued by them, to be honest. You know, I really wasn't looking to review another one. As I said, I did the review on Medical Chain, and there was so many of them coming out at this particular time, I didn't really bother with it. So I let it go. I didn't bother doing a review on it. And then John McAfee started shilling it on Twitter and in other social media. Now, the thing about John McAfee is he does get paid, and he admits this, he does get paid to shill ICOs. Again, goes back to what I'm always trying to tell you, don't follow influencers when they're telling you to buy something, because they get paid for it, guys. So let's look at what he's saying about it. Archaic methods of inaccessible and expensive healthcare will be replaced by Docademic. I believe it will be one of the highest value return of investment ICOs. Used the Docademic app for the first time tonight and got connected to a doctor and got advice straight away. A pioneer company forging the path for free telemedicine for the world. Now, he doesn't believe any of this stuff, guys. You know, he's getting paid to say it. So obviously it's going to say good things. He's not going to turn around and say, the token metrics are shit. I don't like this ICO. The team's not very impressive. I believe this ICO is based in Mexico, actually. I did look at it, as I said briefly earlier on. There you go, Latin America, LATAM. Wants to expand around the world. They have updated the website, which is better. The previous website wasn't too appealing for me. So what's the utility of the token? Let's see. Right, so yeah, they're going to basically exchange information. They've got their own healthcare marketplace. Doctors will interact with the marketplace. Patients will interact, obviously sell their data, get rewarded. They've got an app as well, and obviously a desktop app for the doctors to access for the information. It'll be on the blockchain, and then they'll be providing APIs for different healthcare providers, I assume. So that's basically how this one is going to work. Token price at the time, there you go, 0.000035 Ethereum. I'll work out how much that was. In fact, I'll do it now. I'll just grab the calculator. Let's have a look. Okay, just bear with me. Ethereum's at $507 today, by the way, so just in case. Right, okay, token price very cheap at 1.8 cents. So that's pretty cheap. So I like that. Total supply 1 billion MTC. Okay, That's not too bad. It's not too high, especially with that type of token price. Public sale will receive 350 million MTC. Yeah, that's all right, about a third of the tokens. Ecosystem 300 million MTC. Team management get 200. Partners get 150. Soft cap 525 Ether. They've made that soft cap already. I don't think they hit the hard cap here, guys. I think they only raised about $1.1 million, which, you know, is not a lot really for an ICO of this nature. They did have a hard cap of 12,250 Ethereum, so they didn't meet that. And so this is going to be a fairly low market cap coin when it goes on the exchanges, and I would imagine it will go on the exchanges fairly soon as well. Don't really need to know about that, how they're going to spend the money. Let's look at the roadmap now and see where they are all about. All right, so they've been working in medicine for quite a long time. That was one thing that I did note originally about the project. Where are we? 2018. So they've already got the platform working, obviously, as John McAfee tells us. So they're launching in Europe in 2018 quarter 4, and the blockchain and medical coin will be available 2019 quarter 1. So not that long to wait, 8-9 months, I suppose, you know. So as I said, I'll do positives and negatives for each of these projects, but this is by no means a review, just a quick look at the white paper, a quick perusal over the website, and then, you know, I looked at some of the team members and some of the other stuff as well, just to confirm my suspicions or my thoughts about the project and to get a little bit more information. But by no means is this a deep dive like I usually do for my ICO reviews. So starting off for Docademic, the positives for this project, well, the first one, it does have a case to argue for use, you know, and what I mean by that is it certainly is going to be used in the future. It does, you know, argue that it's going to be replacing the current form of doctor consultation. So it definitely has a use case with the blockchain as well, because the way information is stored at the moment, and the way information is shared, especially patient data, it does have a case to argue for use. Next one is telemedicine, AI diagnosis assistance, and online consulting. I think is going to be the future of medicine. As the population increases, healthcare is going to change in the way it's provided. You know, we're not living in the 1950s or 60s anymore, where people can easily visit their general practitioner and get the information they need face to face. You're going to be doing it all online, over the internet, on the telephone, and they're going to use machine learning and AI to diagnose and make suggestions. It's not going to be the doctor that's going to have to go away and think about that. Doctor will input the information, or the information will be on the system, and then the AI, the machine, will actually give the suggestions, maybe even diagnosis, solutions for a cure or medicine or whatever. So that's the future, and there's no doubt about that in my opinion. The technology, in theory here, because it's not implemented yet, it looks great. What they're trying to do, I can understand the whole picture. And again, the technology, as I said, is the future, but it looks good. And they've already got a functioning business with a network of hospitals, so it's going to count if they can implement the new technology, the blockchain, the AI, and everything else. Then they've already got the network of hospitals in Mexico that they can, they can use to implement this project. So, without that, it really wouldn't have a chance of success. Another interesting thing I noted from the white paper was the loan facility for healthcare service providers. So if you are a service provider, a hospital, for example, a clinic, and you're using this platform and you want to buy new equipment and you want a loan for new equipment, then you can get it by leveraging the amount of tokens you hold against a loan. And if you are a user of the platform, you're a patient, for example, and you're selling your data or you're sharing your data on the platform, then you can loan your tokens essentially to these service providers to buy the equipment. So that's an interesting little angle that some other projects of a similar nature don't have. The token utility here incentivizes users of the platform, both the service providers and also the patients that share data. They do have code on GitHub as well, so they're not just a fly-by-night company. They are obviously trying to attempt to develop and put this project forward. I like the low token price. 1.8 cents is that's a good price. It's a price that I would consider getting involved in because there's a lot of room for growth there. And it should be a fairly low circulating supply. They did not meet the hard cap, so that's good in a way, because the supply, if they burnt the tokens, then the supply will be fairly low when it hits the exchanges. And that means with the low token price, it should have quite a low market cap, and maybe it might offer an opportunity, an entry point opportunity for those of us that missed out on the ICO. So negatives now, let's have a look at them briefly. First one is they don't have a blockchain yet. There's no blockchain technology implemented. It's coming in 2019. So again, it does pose a bit of a risk getting involved with this ICO or this project when it goes on the exchanges if you're looking to pick up the tokens. Can they implement it? Well, we need to wait and see. And the concern of mine was I looked through the programmers, software developers on the team, and they didn't seem to have any blockchain experience whatsoever on the lead development team. And that's a little bit of a concern. Now, I understand that blockchain is a new technology, and developers, good developers particularly, are very hard to come by, especially for projects like this. Developers are all working on their own projects, the really good ones are already busy, so it's hard to pick them up. So I guess software developers at the moment are moving towards learning about blockchain, learning the different programming languages, and learning how to deal with it. So yeah, but that's one thing that I did notice, and it was a sort of concern of mine. Other than that, let me say the software development team looks very, very experienced in what they do already. But again, there's just a lack of blockchain experience there. The other thing is it didn't hit the hard cap, which indicates there's not much interest in the project from the community. There wasn't much hype behind it, and if it had sold out, if there's a lot of interest, then that's when you sort of gauge a project in terms of in terms of value. It's going to really shoot up when it hits the exchanges because there'll be a waiting list of people wanting to buy the tokens. The other concern I had, and I briefly touched on it earlier, was paid shillers that promote the project. There was at least 2 of them on this project, McAfee being one of them. Paid shillers promoting the project on social media indicates the project cannot sell itself on its own merits, meaning they've paid John McAfee quite a substantial amount of money, I would imagine, because he doesn't work for free, and he's expensive to hire, guys. Not like me. I'm cheap. So if you want to hire me, I'm cheap. I don't charge a lot. I'm only joking. So, but paid shillers like McAfee pumping the project, it means that it can't sell itself. I mean, I've got limited impact. When I'm talking about a project that I'm sponsored for, I've got very limited impact. I've only got a number of followers, but I know my followers, most of them anyway, majority of you guys out there are actually interested in this stuff and listen to me, listen to what I say, and take on board, take into consideration what I'm saying. And I'm not just shilling it on social media, guys. I do the review, I'm honest, I'm open, and I'm transparent about everything that I talk about. So I'm not shilling. I may be promoting, there's definitely that there, but again, if you have to pay, a few tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, I've no idea what McAfee's charging for this project, but that indicates it can't really sell itself on its own merits. It doesn't have the ability to generate the clients on its own, And there's a lot of similar projects available now. As I mentioned before, there's hundreds of these, data sharing, medical data sharing projects on the blockchain now. We can name them. There's one in Korea, there's a medical chain in the UK, there's this one, and there's loads more. There really is, because people could see this as a good use of the blockchain in terms of data protection, privacy, security. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of these projects emerging. And the other concern I had was that it lists Fox Business as a partner or a and that's misleading because Fox Business, it takes you to a news site, so they're not partnered with Fox Business. They might have been mentioned in a news article on Fox Business, but that's a little bit misleading, and you shouldn't need to do that. Again, it just seems to me that the media surrounding this project, the shillers, it's just a bit contrived. Does that make sense? So anyway, those are my negatives for the project. Let's move on and take a look at Lending Block. This is Lending Block. It seems to have generated quite a bit of hype now, this Lending Block. I've seen it mentioned numerous times on Twitter. I believe a few of the ICO reviewers have done it. I know Crush Crypto have done it, and there's a few others have covered it. I didn't cover it. It didn't come onto my radar till very, very recently. And again, I noticed that it had been a little bit hyped on Twitter in particular. So I thought, well, let's take a look at it. So I know nothing about this project, so I'm going in completely cold here. Right, it's the first cross-chain lending platform for the crypto economy. It looks like it's almost sold out, which is unfortunate because there's limited opportunity to get involved with it. So what is it? Let's see. What's open exchange for cryptocurrency loans where borrowers and lenders are instantly matched in a simple, safe and transparent way. Put simply, we're introducing securities lending to the crypto world. Right, so it's a security, so US citizens won't be able to participate, and I doubt other prohibited countries will either. Again, lending, big question mark. That's the first thing that I'd point out. But again, this seems to be generating quite a bit of hype, so there must be something to it, really. Let's see. Right, lend any digital asset. All right, lenders, including individuals and institutions, can simply and safely earn additional income on long-term investments. So basically, you're going to lend your cryptocurrency. Right, okay. Now, the first thing I have to say to that is cryptocurrency is very volatile. If you lend somebody crypto, how do they deal with that volatility? What happens, if we see a shift from January to last month where it was a really bearish market and crypto lost a lot of its value? What happens in those sort of circumstances? That's the main thing, and that's an issue and a factor you have to think about when it comes to lending or staking cryptocurrency as well. Borrow any digital asset, so I guess you'll be leveraging your own crypto funds against borrowing more digital assets. Right, simple and transparent, safe and secure. Okay, right. Self-contained ecosystem for fully collateralized borrowing and lending of crypto assets. There's an exchange, okay. Smart contract system, okay, as you'd expect. Lending Block is creating the financial and technical infrastructure for lending within the crypto economy. Okay, cross-chain interoperability, that's an interesting concept. Crypto to crypto lending, so basically, you can lend any crypto. Secure, okay, trusted, transparent, yep. Okay, APIs, native integration, will integrate with wallet and portfolio tracking partners, right? And the LND is the token I see. So what's this going to do? Right, reduces cost of exchange fees, simplifies interest payments for borrowers and lenders with a portfolio of crypto loans. Again, volatility on interest payments, that's the concern I have with these lending platforms. At the moment, maybe in the future, once cryptocurrency starts to stabilize in volatility, which eventually it will, once it gets recognized as a new asset class by more people and by institutional investors, then your volatility will decrease, and that'll be a good thing for these kind of lending platforms, because at the moment it's just far too volatile, and that's my biggest question mark over projects like this. Allows smart contracts to govern the operational processing requirements of the loan. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We know that. Let's see. Right, August this year they're going to launch the platform, so we've not got long to wait. We're about halfway through the roadmap. I'll read the white paper and the light paper and even the token paper a little bit later on, so I can come to my sort of conclusion about positives and negatives with this project. They had a pre-sale, I see there. and main sale is, well, it just started a few days ago and it's already almost sold out. So that's good. There seems to be quite a lot of hype behind this project, which is a good thing, as I say. Let's have a look at the token price now and see what's going on. Right, okay, so they sold most of the tokens during the pre-sale, which has already happened. That's why they're almost sold out now. Not much difference between the pre-sale price and the current ICO price. It was 1.7 cents, let's say, for ease of calculating, and 2 cents now. So yeah, it is a good opportunity, I think, at that token price. Looking at it very briefly, and what's been going on with token distribution: private sale 5%, so that would have been early on. Founders 15%, team 5%, supporters 5%. Growth fund 15%, main sale only 10%, but stingy with the main sale, and the pre-sale obviously sold out 45%. So that is reasonable token metrics, especially given the circulating supply here will be fairly low at those prices. Similar circulating supply to Docademic, I think, and as we can see, the total supply will be 1 billion of these tokens. So yeah, similar token metrics to Docademic. Team, I'll have a closer look at these guys in a minute, but they look fairly competent. Harvard Business School there, UCLA, MA, Cambridge as well, Investec, Citibank, I think that is, a software developer there, and we've got a product manager for e-trading and algo trading at Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, ST. Yeah, so the team, on first glance, the team looks pretty competent and interesting there, some of the companies they've been working for. So yeah, let's have another look. Right, okay, just news articles now. Investors, partners, right, so they've got some investors, they've got a lot of capital flowing in here. Partners, I need to take a look closely at these guys because I haven't really heard of any, and they have been featured a lot in the media. As I said, the hype is there. So let me just go away, have a closer look at the different papers, and then I'll come back to you with a brief positive and negative lending block of this project. Let's look at the positives and negatives now, and by no means is this a deep dive or a review into the project. This is just what I've gathered over a quick look over the white paper and the other material, having a coffee, scanning through it. You know, I put a lot of effort into my ICO reviews, and I haven't done so in the case of these three projects. Just looked at them, but I'll give you my initial thoughts on them. So there's a lot of hype about this one. It was mentioned on my social media feed several times, so that piqued my interest in it. And if it's piqued my interest, it will have done for many other people as well. It looks like it's going to sell out. It's almost at its hard cap, and that means there's a bit of demand behind this as well, which is good, given the ICO market is fairly deflated at the moment. We're seeing a recovery in the general cryptocurrency market, but the ICO market still remains a little bit deflated, I think, and that's good for this project because it shows that there is still people interested in it. The other thing I noted was it's a short roadmap until implementation. You won't have to wait long, so it provides a good opportunity and possibly a fast opportunity if you're looking to make a quick buck. You could get into the ICO and then you know, make money by the time it's launched in August 2018. So you've not got long to wait. I like the low token price, again 2 cents. Similar token metrics to Docademic, but this one's got a lot more backing, I think, and a lot more hype behind it. So I think this one will do better than Docademic, if I'm being honest. Low token price to me for this project is very attractive, and given the circulating supply should be just over 600 million, this could grow quite rapidly. You know, I see flipping as a possibility for this project, and I also see holding till August a good opportunity as well. The other thing I noted is documentation of this project is clear and it's pretty thorough too. They do explain the lending process in detail for people that aren't aware of how it's going to work. And again, you know, there's no messing about. They get straight to the point. The team looks pretty strong, good educational background, and the most important thing here with the team is that it has the connections in the financial sphere to make this project a success. And another thing as well has to be pointed out, it is a growing market for the lending of digital assets. You know, we're in the very early stages of this particular business model now, and I think lending digital assets is going to be a big business in the future, so the market's definitely there. So let's have a quick look at the negatives. There's only a few really. I didn't pick up many negatives with this project because I didn't really have time to do a deep dive, but what I did see was the plan in the white paper appears not to consider any retraction in the cryptocurrency market. Even their most pessimistic outlook has the cryptocurrency market growing in size. And while I do tend to agree with them, I do believe it's going to grow in size, you have to be aware of all possibilities. And you know, I believe their pessimistic outlook should have included a market retraction rather than market growth. The other thing that concerns me is the legal status of loans and the smart contracts is not yet properly defined in many jurisdictions. So again, you know, if there's defaulting and everything else, while the smart contract should handle it and there should be reparations in terms of cryptocurrency you've leveraged to borrow, again, legal issues are a concern, especially if somebody loses some money, loses some crypto, and then it has to go to the courts in the real world. Then, you know, we don't know the outcome of that yet. And again, volatility of crypto assets concerns me still. They tried to assuage me in the white paper that they're going to handle that, but it still concerns me, especially when used for collateral for loans. You know, something about the volatility at the moment. It's just too early, I feel, for a project of this nature, in my opinion. And I think they're being optimistic or over-optimistic about the market share they're going to be able to capture. They say something like 25% of total market share. While I applaud their ambition, I'm just, you know, a little bit doubtful that they can get that amount of market share. There are going to be many more of these typical lending crypto projects that are going to come along soon as well, and you know, I think they're just being a tad over-optimistic. And the final thing that I noted that was a negative was it uses a centralized solution for part of its system, and again, that's open to security breaches and open to being compromised. So that is a concern of mine as well. However, as I've said, that's by no means a deep dive, just a quick look at Lending Block. Overall, yeah, I'd have to say I'm quite bullish about Lending Block because I think the token metrics make sense. It's got the hype behind it, and yeah, I think it would be quite a good opportunity. And we'll have to keep an eye on it, see how it does when it hits the exchanges, I guess. So the final project I want to bring to your attention today is Current. Now, Current had a very successful ICO. They hit their hard cap. They raised $36 million not so long ago, and I missed out on reviewing it. I did want to review it, but I just simply didn't have time when it was at ICO and beforehand. So what is it? Well, it's an incentivized blockchain-enabled streaming ecosystem that lets you choose how to stream and pay for your media. Basically, it's a platform that consolidates all the current other social media platforms and streaming platforms like YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, everything that you're using at the moment. It will consolidate it and make it a personal experience for yourself. You can also choose to stream media on the platform. In return, you will earn the token. So let's take a little look at the website. They have a referral program, which is just basically a sign-up program for the actual platform itself, I guess. Not for the ICO, as I said. The ICO is already successfully completed. So there you go, platform. They have the protocol and also the token. It's a tokenized ecosystem. So the CRNC is pronounced currency, right? So there you go. That's pretty cool. Anyone can earn a currency by streaming your favorite content through the current platform. It will reduce premium subscription costs, so they say. Eliminate the cost of premium subscriptions to popular content providers. Okay. Access your favorite content. Okay. And simplest onboarding. They will have a wallet for every user. In many cases, Current will be the first digital wallet the mainstream public will have built. So that's interesting too. I'll take a look at the white paper and the rest of the material to do the positives and negatives in the next section. Let's have a look. 1 billion tokens again. The breakdown will be 35% for mining rewards, 35% for the token sale, so 350 million for the token sale, 12% to the team, 10% to community, 5% for advisors, and 3% to the foundation. Distribution, okay. So let's have a look. Right, so the price, I'm not too sure. I'll have to go away and find out from the material, so bear with me. Okay, so token price was 24 cents. So let's look at the positives and the negatives. And again, this is not a deep dive into the project. This is not a review. This is just me reading the white paper over a cup of coffee and reporting back, because we've missed these ICOs pretty much now, so there's no point in going too deep into them. But I'll give you my opinions on them anyway, because I know a lot of you would probably be interested to know. And of course, I'm interested myself to go back and look at these projects to see what I've missed. So the first thing that I noted about this was they have had their app downloaded over 200,000 times. It's got a lot of use, 18 minutes plus people spend on this per day. So the app is available on iOS for iPhone users, and you know it's got a little bit of traction as well. So that is interesting to see. The ecosystem here that they're using currently using the Ethereum blockchain, but they are also using it to align the incentives of people that are using the platform. It rewards participants, it rewards content creators, people that view and stream content, it rewards curators as well. It rewards advertisers, it rewards everybody that actually utilizes the platform. It has an all-star advisory body and investors as well. Mark Cuban is involved in this project most notably. The project itself is very well polished and very well presented, so top marks for presentation. They've got a deck which is like a slideshow that was quite helpful to be doing this. They have the website's quite neat and well presented. You know, it looks really good on a mobile device more than it does on the desktop, to be honest with you. The white paper is pretty good too. It's all concise, explained very well. So yeah, top marks for presentation. The tech behind this, at least in theory, is very solid. They've thought everything out about you know, incentivizing people, also what they need to actually make the ecosystem work and make it valuable and get people to use it. They have thought of an off-chain solution that, like I said, they're using the Ethereum blockchain, so scalability is your problem there. They have thought about an off-chain solution to solve the scalability issues, especially for the currency token payments as well. That's going to have to be implemented. I noted that this project has very, very strong partnerships and good PR behind it as well. There's a lot of members in the team that are focused on marketing and public relations. And the other good thing I noted is multiple types of media can be hosted on one easy to use platform, so you can stream podcasts, videos, music, anything you like, all done on a single platform. It's successfully sold out at the ICO, and that to me means there's a lot of demand behind this, and it was marketed right in the first place, so it'll be on everybody's agenda when it goes on the exchanges. And again, marketing may drive this on to success in the medium to longer term. They have already marketed the ICO successfully, so there's no reason that can't continue when the project actually launches. And another thing that I might mention here, it might be a bargain when it's on the exchanges. You might find that it goes on the exchanges and then there's a sell-off, and that might be your opportunity to pick it up if you missed out on the ICO. So there's no, there's no guarantees of it going on the exchanges at more than the ICO price at 24 cents per token. So there may be a chance to pick it up here, maybe an opportunity to get it at a bargain. Then again, it might not. And the other thing I liked about this project, just looking at it, it targets an audience of younger consumers. It knows where its market is. It's not trying to attract old fuddy-duddies like me. Yeah, I'm not that old, but it's not bothered about us. We're a past generation. It's focusing on getting the younger people to use the platform, and of course, that is really where the market's going to be, isn't it? So let's look at some of the negatives then. I think they're based in the US. The reason I say this is a negative, and some people may disagree with me here, is the SEC's hardening stance on initial coin offerings might affect any initial coin offerings that were launched in the US, and that's why I say that's a negative. I might be completely incorrect by that, but I'm guarded about my stance on ICOs that are based in the US, given the current sort of SEC sentiment towards ICOs. And there's no Android version available for this app, which is disappointing. I don't use any Mac devices whatsoever. I don't like them. It's just my personal preference. I'm not going to slag them off. Not going to slag you Mac users off at all. But yeah, I've got an Android device, so I couldn't download the app and use it. So that irritated me. And again, Android has the biggest market share worldwide. You would have thought if they were clever enough, they probably would have developed the Android version first. But I noted there's a Apple guy on their team, so that probably explains why they chose to go down the iOS route first. The dev team for blockchain seems non-existent. It seems that they don't have a development team. And there was another thing that I noticed in the white paper. They have this 10% monthly decay rate. Now, I'll have to explain that to you first. Now, if you've got the wallet on your mobile device and you're utilizing the current platform, then if you're absent from the platform with current tokens in your wallet, then the app will decay your holdings by 10% every month until they're completely gone. Now, while that's well-meaning to service the ecosystem, service to fuel the blockchain ecosystem, it's gonna, I think, aggravate absent users. So if you go away and you forget about the app for a few months and you come back, you'll have zero balance. So, you know, I can see that aggravating people rather than being of benefit. And another negative here, this type of business is a hard nut to crack. You might look good, you might have the marketing and PR, but there's no guarantees here. You know, it's up to adoption only. And again, the consumers are a difficult person to convince. And, you know, this business, it is a hard nut to crack. It is going to be difficult for them to get the users behind it on a regular basis, get everybody sharing content on it. It's going to be difficult. Another thing I noted about this is it doesn't have a clear roadmap for implementation. Roadmap ends at the end of the token sale in April 2018, doesn't really continue on. There's a rough roadmap in the deck that, you know, basically has a 3-stage plan, but it's not detailed and it's vague. It doesn't really tell me anything. It doesn't tell me what I want to know anyway, as a, you know, if I was an investor in this ICO. And the other negative as well is centralized and established competition certainly won't go down without a fight. These guys are big players, they've got a lot of money. You know, if little upstart platforms, decentralized platforms like this come onto the scene, you can bet your bottom dollar the likes of YouTube, especially, and Spotify, they're not going to lie down and just take this. You know, they're gonna come out fighting. They're gonna come out sparring, and you know, you're gonna have to be at the top of your game to compete with them. I'll tell you that. Another negative for me anyway is it's got a higher token price than I like given the supply. When I see a billion supply, I like to see token prices down where Lending Block and Docademic are. This is a bit too high for me, and it results in a high hard cap, $36 million, which has been met. But that translates into a fairly high market cap when it goes on the exchanges, and thus it might limit your gains, certainly in the shorter to medium term as well. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. And there we go. So those are the negatives behind the current project as I see it after just a quick view over the material. I think all three projects are solid. I think the weakest one is probably Docademic if I had to pick one out. Current seems to be a bigger, grandiose and you know, bigger scale project, more ambitious. And Lending Block comes with risks, but you know, probably if you're gonna get involved in Lending Block, you'll see short to medium term that could probably be the best investment. Medium to longer term, however, I would say probably Current is going to be a better gamble for that. So there you are. There is my 3 ICOs that I missed video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, please give us a subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel here at the Cryptonomatron. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you've got anything to say about it, comment below. I try to answer as many comments as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later on. Oh, and before I forget and go away without telling you, the Block Square ICO starts today. Yes, I am an ambassador. People have been asking me. It starts today. Completely, it's insanely low market cap, insanely low hard cap at $300,000. Token price has been halved to 25 cents. I'm going to just do a quick promo video for it as well, since it kicks off today. But yeah, look at it closely if you haven't already. I'm sure most of you have if you watch me and follow me. But it's an investment you really don't want to miss out on at the moment. They're tokenizing real estate, and they're going to be the first blockchain company to tokenize real estate. So get involved, go and have a look at it, go and watch my other videos on it. I'll leave a link to one or two of them up here. And thanks for watching, and now I can go.